Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the hospital in Pineville is finally under new management. We will tell you what the changes will mean for patients and staff. Meanwhile, people affected by recent tornadoes in Ohio are taking matters into their own hands after reports of looting in their neighborhoods. And 30 years later, we look back at the massacre in China's Tiananmen Square.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Make that 6:01 on Tuesday, June the 4th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, it's a Tuesday and it's starting to feel more like a Monday as this morning goes on. But the good news is once that sun comes up, it should be a pretty darn beautiful day. Let's bring Brandon in for it. And Brandon, a beautiful day today, but better hold on to that because it's not going to last long.
Exactly. I wish we could just hit pause because today's going to be perfect temperature-wise. Later on, it's going to be perfect condition-wise. But after this, rain chances. So break out the rain gear. You're going to need it for about the next 7 days almost. Let's take a look, see what's going on this morning up on top of Buffalo Mountain. Maybe a few clouds again this morning. Maybe a touch of fog in some locations. UVA-wise, all pretty quiet there this morning as you head out the door. Not too much in the way of fog. Maybe down toward Williamsburg, just a little bit of fog there this morning. Temperature's the big story. 50s, actually 48 now. Wise, look at that. I was telling you somebody in the Shelter Valleys may be in the 40s this morning, anywhere from 50 to 55. Appcast, sunshine, and warmer temperatures today into the low 80s, but chances for rain and changes are coming soon. I'll have that coming up in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, city officials in Pineville say the Southeastern Kentucky Medical Center was dangerously close to shutting down. But as WYMT's Justin Case tells us, the hospital is under new management this morning with big plans in the works for the facility's future in the community.
Local folks will now be making decisions on this hospital.
That's Pineville Mayor Scott Maiden. He says people in the community should feel a renewed sense of confidence with the hospital under new ownership. Employees here, many of whom have gone about 8 weeks without a paycheck, say they are thankful for this move.
Last couple of weeks, we've received gift cards for gas and food, and then Ray Long and Dr. Dubin gave us gift cards to Pick Pack. And then this today, seeing the community, friends, family, patients, it's just awesome.
While under previous ownership, just about all of the departments here shut down. Only the emergency room is still operational. And to make matters worse, contracts with Medicare and Medicaid were terminated.
Without Medicare and Medicaid, we can't operate because 75% of our revenue is generated Medicare, Medicaid.
With little revenue coming into the hospital, officials say they will have to lay off about 60 employees of the nearly 120 that still remain.
When Medicare and Medicaid gets reinstituted, we'll be able to start hiring quite a few more back. I mean, because that's how we put people in the hospital, and that's how we, have our additional services.
With new and now local ownership, Maiden says the best thing people in the community can do is support the hospital.
If you go to your primary care physician, you have the right to ask to get your labs done at Pineville Hospital, get your x-rays done at Pineville Hospital.
The goal now is to make sure all employees get back pay, get Medicaid and Medicare services back, and reopen all of the departments that have been previously shut down.
Hopefully one day, my unit, ICU, will be reopened. I'm an old ICU nurse, 49 years. Hopefully psych will open and the nursing home and bring some of our former employees of the nursing home back.
As of Monday, the hospital was renamed Pineville Community Healthcare.
Now, that was Justin Case reporting. Maiden says city officials are working on another partnership, one that would help restore more of the services to the hospital and would likely help restore their Medicare and Medicaid services. A mobile home in Corbin caught fire yesterday morning, destroying property of nearby neighbors. David Sizemore lives close to the trailer that burned on Foley Road. He says around 9:30 Monday morning, he called 911 after hearing neighbors scream for his name for help. Sizemore lost 3 trucks and had damage to the siding of his home, causing several $1,000s in damages.
Walk outside and there's flames everywhere, It was just a terrible sight, but I mean, we did the best we could, and thank the Lord the fire department showed up.
No one was injured in the fire. However, firefighters say they did not find some kittens believed to be inside the home. Now, while investigators in Virginia Beach search for a motive in Friday's deadly shooting, the community is coming together to grieve and remember the 12 lives taken so violently. Well-wishers gathered Monday at a memorial not far from the municipal building where the massacres took place. There is a cross here for each of the victims, a local contractor and 11 city employees. Their combined years of service with the city totaled more than 150 years. One survivor says colleague and friend Keith Cox may have saved 7 lives before he was killed. He directed the group to hide inside an office.
We ran in there and I turned and I said, come on. And he said, I'm going to go check on other people. Barricade yourself in.
At the memorial site, therapy dogs have been brought in. They will interact with people struggling with the tragedy and try to bring comfort to a community in mourning. A Southwest Virginia man has entered a guilty plea to multiple charges in connection with the shooting on July 4th of last year. Prosecutors say 37-year-old Brian Williams from Pound was originally charged with attempted murder, but the victim told them that she did not believe Williams meant to shoot her. Williams pleaded guilty Monday to abduction, malicious wounding, and use of a firearm charges. He faces up to 33 years in prison. He will be sentenced in October. Commemorations for the 30th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre in China will take place today. Hundreds of people were killed on June 4th, 1989, as People's Liberation Army troops cracked down on pro-democracy protesters in and around the Beijing landmark. Events will be held and speeches made to commemorate the massacre and those who died in cities around the world. People in the Northridge area of Dayton say their homes have been broken into in the wake of last week's tornadoes. Now, some of them say they're armed and ready to defend themselves and their property. Nicole and James Atkins say they're stuck. They can't move anything until their insurance company assesses their property. Until then, they are forced to protect what's left. They say they're not the only ones.
We're living here on the front porch. Somebody has to be at my home at all times loaded with a shotgun. This house, the blue house, was Reynolds. They already had those stuff stolen out of the house. They went through, not last night, but the night before they told us, and stuff has already been gone.
Off camera, those homeowners confirmed they'd been broken into as well. Meanwhile, dozens of people in Arkansas are waiting for the water to recede this morning. Officials say the flood stage for the Arkansas River hit a record Monday morning. The water is now over 285 feet, almost 2 feet above the old record. 25 people are out of their homes in the community of Toadsuck due to record flooding.
Everyone's dedicated, stuck together, and we love each other. We're a strong community, and we love each other.
Rain is in the forecast this week for many affected areas, with many locations along the river still in major flood stage. Authorities in Mexico's Jalisco state reported the overflow of a river that left at least 2 people dead and 5 people missing. A powerful storm caused the river to flood a populated area in the municipality of San Gabriel. The water ran very quickly through the streets, taking cars along with it and leaving a blanket of mud behind. Authorities are working on search and rescue operations. A multi-billion-dollar disaster relief bill is finally on its way to the White House for President Trump's signature. The measure passed in the House of Representatives Monday by a vote of 354 to 58. The Senate already approved the funding. For weeks, Democrats and Republicans engaged in a back and forth over how much funding to give Puerto Rico, which is still rebuilding from Hurricane Maria. There were also negotiations over whether to include funding for the humanitarian crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. Well, in other news this morning, hundreds of people in Coal Grove, West Virginia turned on their faucets Monday to see something unexpected: purple water. No, it's not special effects. This really is what the water looked like. The city flushed its water system several times Monday, but people still need to run the water until the color goes away. Officials say the purple water could stain your laundry, but besides that, there's no real danger.
Once it's diluted out, it's not dangerous at all.
The water treatment plant operator says the vibrant color was caused by a pump malfunction. It dumped too much sodium permanganate into the water.
Forecast this morning starting off on the cool side, but otherwise another nice start to the day. Let's take a look at the US 119, US 23 camera over at Jenkins this morning. And again, lightening up pretty well and no moisture this morning, no real fog. US 119 up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain, also lightening up there a little bit in the last couple of frames. And we're going to see some sunshine this morning, but temperatures are chilly. 48 in Wise, 50 in Harlan and Jonesville this morning. Also Williamsburg, we're going to continue to see those temperatures staying pretty cool there. The warmest spots in the region, we've got Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Pikeville all at 55, 58 in Paducah, 62 in Nashville, 60 in Louisville this morning, 50 Charleston, West Virginia, and the Tri-Cities. So a little extra, not only on the temperatures, but I need a little extra coffee this morning, so just kind of keep that in mind. Grab a light jacket on your way out the door. You'll be able to shed it later, but temperatures will continue to stay cool for the morning hours before getting into the 80s this afternoon. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for getting your day started with us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. We will take you to Ashland to hear a nurse sing a healing tune for a patient. It was all caught on camera. And we will take you to a summer camp that is out of this world. It's right here in Hazard.